Welcome back, everybody. Today we're going to take a look at Luke Skywalker, Jedi Master, in his uniform that he is wearing in the beginning or the end of the basically at the end of TFA, when Rey hands over his Graflex lightsaber to him back, and he's wearing this uniform, this tunic. But I believe later in the movie he's wearing a dark side uniform. Now let's take a look at the packaging. It's Luke Skywalker. Definitely, I can definitely see this is Mark Hamill. This is one of the better artworks. His eye, his face, doesn't have the droopy eyes. Soft goods rope, which I love. I love my soft goods. Absolutely fan of soft goods over hard goods. But it's my personal opinion, because I know hard goods look better, but soft goods is more like the old school shit. So pause the video if you want to read the bio. Luke is number 46 in the series. I don't know if that's coincidentally also his real age, but that will be funny. Let's take him out of the box, and there's nothing in there. And now you want to notice one thing is, hey, where is his lightsaber? Where is his Return of the Jedi lightsaber? It's not there. That's weird, right? So he comes without his lightsaber. So this is definitely when Rey is handing over the lightsaber to him. Okay, let's take him out of his plastic cage. I'm gonna do this off screen. Okay. And we are back. So Master Jedi Luke comes with two things. Now he comes with this rope, soft goods, and let's take a look at this rope first. So he has two strings, so you can attach that on the front of his chest, so his rope is nicely around his body. It's a really nice rope, nice fabric. Stitching is okay, not too bad. It's a small fabric, of course, so the stitching is a little bit so-so at some areas, but overall very nice, to be honest. Looks pretty good. Now we're gonna try it on this figure in a moment, so we're gonna put it on, but first we're gonna look at the figure itself, and we're gonna start with his head. So we have Master Luke here. His head sculpt is actually not bad. I think this is one of the better head sculpts from Hasbro. The pre 3D printed head sculpts, I should say. He has some white frosting in his beard. I would almost say it more looks like he's been in a snowy area, and he just had a blizzard snowing in his face than anything. But yeah, he has sort of gray hairs. That also I think means that his head is very limited. So yeah, he cannot put his head much up and down. This is it. This will rock a little bit up and down. He can turn his head all the way around, so that's good. Then we take a look at the rest of things. He missed his neck, and it's kind of funny, like his head looks very big on his body. So you see that now. I feel like his head is a little bit oversized for the rest of his body, or his body is undersized, or just because you cannot really see his neck. Yeah, I think that's it. They should have had a little bit more neck on this figure, but he haven't. So it looks a little bit like his head is directly on his shoulders. Then we have the rest of the body. Really nice plastic rope. Front, back, and then his arm, and then we have his robotic arm. Hand, not arm. Well, arm, yeah, basically arm. His whole lower arm should be robotic. And his other arm. So both hands are in lightsaber configuration, so no pistol trigger finger, because Jedis don't use pistols, right? Or in general don't use it. And nice deep cutouts for at the armpit, so he can move his arms nicely around, up and down. Yeah, don't want to break him. And elbow swivel around. Yep, arm can swivel with hand. I always mix up hand, arm, limbs. He has movement on his waist quite a bit, so I can move him all the way around. And he has a utility pin here for a lightsaber. but he does not come with a lightsaber. So I think what Hasbro will do is first release will be without a lightsaber, next release will be with a lightsaber and a better head sculpt, because that's how Hasbro cheats us basically. So I definitely think he will come with a lightsaber in the next iteration or the next revision. All the standard articulation on the feet. I almost would swear the feet are these the exact same mold as Luke's farm boy, but then unpainted? I'm not sure. Leave it in the comments if you think that. It does look a little bit like it though. It got all the articulation in the legs as you expect, because the plastic rope has quite a bit of motion. He can put his feet quite high, only this high basically. So a little bit limited in articulation, but the side articulation is fine, and he can make nice poses. He also has the swivel on the ankle, which I love. So besides it's gonna go up and down, he also can go side to side. That's really good. So now let's try to put on his rope and then see how that looks like. So we're gonna just put it on there. Okay guys, I have to say the rope has in my case an absolutely poor fitting. I tried to get the rope to work properly. If I put it around his neck, because the stitching, the wire actually is around here, so if I put it around his neck, the stitching goes up, and then the upper rope doesn't go on his head. Either way, it's a pretty daunting task to get this rope on, pretty normal. So I have to play around with it longer. But yeah, once it is fixed in place, when you put it on there, and then when you're happy with it, you don't want to take it off the figure anymore, because it's so annoying to get it up and on. That rope design is pretty disappointed. They should make it much wider, I think on the shoulder, so it's just, you know, the stitching should fit nicely around the shoulders. Maybe have like a metal wire inside so you can fit it around him by putting that metal around his neck or something. But now it's the rope itself is just very hard to shape properly, like really hard to shape, because if you put it on one shoulder it falls off the other shoulder. It's just too short on the shoulder area. Like it should supposed to look like this, but the stitching is hampering basically the look on this figure. So I'm pretty disappointed with how the rope works out. It doesn't work out properly in my case. It's pretty shit, to be honest. So too bad. Next up is, okay guys, I hope you liked the in-depth review. I have to say I'm a little bit disappointed with this figure. For a few reasons. The rope, the soft rope, I absolutely love soft ropes, but why they not make a bungee cord? Like, I now have to do it myself, put a bungee rope on it. I know it looks ugly, but it's still way better than the two flimsy, very thin strings that are stitched on a very weird location, that because of the thick stitching, the fabric coming together underneath the stitching, it's so hard to position that properly and get that rope to work. It's actually very frustrating, and it's not an off and on thing. You cannot just take it off and on. You need to fiddle around. So if you want to play with this figure without the rope, with the rope, put the headpiece down or whatever, it's this doesn't work. You can also not put the rope like in a fashion that it's like on this body like this, and then the rope is down. No, because it's because of the material. So I think the rope is a little bit of a miss. The figure itself is pretty cool. I really don't understand why they just did not add the lightsaber. Like, I know why it is, because Hasbro gonna fool us. They're gonna later come with a much better head sculpt, and they're gonna come with his hero lightsaber from Return of the Jedi, because he already has the pack on the side of his utility belt. So I feel like this is a massive miss. I don't know why, because I have so many other figures. They come with a pistol, they come with a lightsaber, some come with even more double accessories, a pistol and a lightsaber or staff, and Luke comes with the rope, and that's it. I think it's so silly, and the rope is not expensive. I would say the rope is more cheaper than, for example, the Kylo Ren, the Last Jedi plastic rope, because I think in material terms and cost and labor, that's more expensive than the softwood roads. Well, maybe I'm wrong, because this rope has to be sewed together. So maybe that's why this is expensive, and then he didn't add a lightsaber. Or they released this figure early on and they didn't have the lightsaber ready. Or, this is my theory, this figure was meant for the TFA to be released, but they put it out because he was only in there for 1-2 seconds, and they find it more appropriate to release this figure with the Force Awakens, with the Last Jedi. And I think that's the reason why he does not come with his lightsaber, because they didn't want to spoil certain elements of the movie or something. And also, this is, I think this uniform he will only wear for a short period of time during the Jedi training, and after that he wore the Dark City uniform. So of course there will be another figure that will have that Dark City figure, and that one also will have a lightsaber. I'm pretty sure about that. So overall, the head sculpt is good. The robotic arm looks amazing. I really dig this figure overall. It's just the rope is a little bit silly, and that it does not come with a lightsaber is a big miss in my book. But what do you think about this figure? What are your feelings about it? Are you happy with it? What's up with you? Let me know in the comments, and make sure to check out the YouTube channel every week. Every Wednesday we have a Black Series toy review or another Star Wars review every Wednesday, and of course toys. And we have live gaming content every Monday, 10 a.m. EDT, which is translating in 10 a.m. local time in New York, so 10 a.m. in the morning. And then we have custom saber reviews every Saturday, so check that out. Make sure to subscribe, because they really help us out to grow as a channel. And yeah, that's it. This is my verdict on this figure. Hope you liked it, and see you next week. And as always, stay scummy. Please subscribe for more weekly videos. Follow us on Twitter, Facebook and Instagram. Sponsor the channel at our Patreon page. Stay scummy.